Hey everybody, welcome back to another week for Keith's Vision. We are at episode 67. And of course, the big question is, who is John Galt? So I don't know if any of you caught some of Caroline's podium time, but I tell you what, the the lamestream legacy propaganda media, they do not like her. They do not like her at all. She's coming back to them honest, slaps in the face is what it is. There's a note here from when she was up there that Doge and the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, found that the Biden administration was about to send $37 million to the World Health Organization, which Trump had pulled out. He said, "We're gone. We don't need to be a part of this." And mainly because they're not doing anything. They're just a bunch of people sitting at the top thinking they know everything. And also, $50 million to fund condoms for Gaza. Yes, yes. And I saw a statistic from somebody who did the math, and they said that's about 1,000 condoms for every man in Gaza. That's a whole lot of going. And anybody who's familiar with what those condoms are used for, other than the actual reasoning, is they use those to fly incendiary devices over Israel. So we are giving them $50 million worth of condoms so that they can attack Israel. Thank God that administration is gone. Thank God. And we didn't give it to them. Thank God it was about to be sent. Okay, a little housekeeping. If you want to help me with my show, if you get a lot out of it and you like coming back and listening to what we got, there is my Give, Send, Go QR code. Take you straight to it. I also have Venmo. Those are the two that seem to be fairly easy to use for most people. And any support you want to give me, that would be great. It'll help me continue on with this mission. So social media, I'll do this probably another week or two so that you all know where I'm located. I'm on 4 different platforms just for these videos and shorts. I'm on Instagram under Keith's Vision GCD. The QR codes will take you to there. And if you need these QR codes, you just go back one week and you will find the QR codes in there. And mainly you'll find the QR codes in the full video, which we'll get to the next screen. On X, you'll find me on Keith's Vision 1/media, and that'll take you to the video clips. Keith's Vision GCD/shorts. You're going to find the full video under the videos tab and the shorts under the shorts tab. So you just hit that QR code, go to the video, and then you can come back to these QR codes or view the whole show, 30 minutes. You'll also find it on TikTok as well under Keith's Vision GCD. All right, let's get on with what's been unfolding. What a week. This is week 2 of the Trump administration. And there's not a lot of happy people, 100% guarantee. So Simi posted, breaking, Trump details some of the wasteful spending he cut. $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza. Mentioned that in the previous slides. $181 million in DEI contracts. This is where our tax money has been going. Can you imagine what Doge is going to find when they really get their teeth in there? 1.7 billion with a B dollars in payments to foreign organizations, including the 40 million to the WHO, There's some question on whether it's 37 to 40. If it's 37 million, it's 40. Hello, nickels and dimes. So yeah, they were sending that to the WHO, and then 45 million in diversity scholarships. Wait for it, in Burma. Now, what are we, the taxpayers, getting out of that? What's our deliverable, right? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, $45 million in diversity to Burma, one would have to ask themselves, could that possibly be a laundromat like Ukraine? Who knows? And NYPD News, this was January 23. They posted, for the first time in 30 years, there have been 0 shooting victims in New York City for a 5-day period. They note this is the longest we've gone without a shooting victim since the beginning of the CompStat era, and as a result of the brave work that the members of the NYPD do every day. Yeah, maybe. There was also Tom Homan is off leash, so take it as a grain of salt. Now, CompStat, which we just mentioned. So where did the CompStat era begin? It began in 1994 when the New York City Police Department introduced this management system. What is the CompStat system? The CompStat system is a performance management tool used by police departments to reduce crime and improve quality of life. It involves the collection, analysis, and mapping of crime data and other police performance measures. The system is designed to identify problems, set priorities, and focus resources on solving those problems. Regular CompStat meetings are held where police commanders are held accountable for the performance of their units and must develop strategies to address any identified issues. Okay, so who was the mayor when this happened, when the CompStat system was implemented? CompStat system was implemented in 94 under the administration of Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Oh, yeah. How about those never Trumpers now, huh? They got to be loving it. All right, and I've got one here that's kind of off the cuff. This came from Amir Sarfati on the 27th of January. There was a notation here from Amir, or from this guy, Sadi. I won't even attempt to pronounce that last name. He's a senior professor at Tehran University in Iran. Since October 7, you'd be surprised how much hatred Iranians have for Palestinians. Well, that's interesting, considering the Palestinians are part of the octopus. The sympathy for them is gone. It's evaporated. And the Iranian youth praise Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu as their hero. Go figure. That's going to go a long way with the Iranian leadership. They're not going to be too happy about that. So as we come in here, I noticed, we'll go with the top hit on X here. Impeach. They're already talking about impeaching. Here's Dave noting, and the morons on the left just don't get it, especially Tampon Timmy. We remember Tampon Tim, Mr. Excitement. You are the reason why Trump was elected. Liberal morons. This guy, he just lets loose. They're already trying to figure out how to get Trump out of office. He hasn't even finished 2 weeks yet. He's getting so much done, and he's really getting into the wallets indirectly as you can see when you watch the confirmation hearings, the questions that the Democrats are asking of all of these folks that Trump has put forward. RFK Jr. He stumped Bernie Sanders today when Bernie Sanders was asking him if he was going to get us universal health care like most of the big countries out there. And Robert F.K. was not having it. But he did call him out on all the money that Big Pharma's been giving him. Kind of left Bernie stupefied, not sure how to answer it. No, that's not what I was asking you. Crazy times. They're going after Tulsi because she's going to be director of national intelligence. Guess what that links to? Yes, the MIC. And you can figure that out. That's 3 different words. It ends in complex. They see their wallets drying up and they want somebody in there that's a yes man that will cow to their needs and wants. And they're not going to have it. They're not going to have it. Not in Trump's term. And we're not done yet with this whole process, because the reality is, if they do, they do end up pushing out Trump's his picks. There's always recess appointments. Trump had 2 in his first term. One of them was just to fill an empty spot that was emptied by Jeff Sessions, and there was another one, can't remember precisely what it was, but he had done that because Congress was at recess. That was it. You should go, not Google, but DuckDuckGo. You pick your search engine. You should go and search that up and see how many recess appointments the last 4 presidents have done, and compare that to Trump. So we can get them in. The whole point here is we've given Trump a mandate, and that's not when 2 fellers go to lunch. It is strictly, we're telling him, we're putting you back in. Do what you said you're going to do. This is what we want. So now Scott Presler announces he will work to primary Republican Senator Bill Cassidy. Senator Cassidy voted to impeach Trump. This goes on, and we're going to see more of this. The Dems don't want Trump running the country. They basically want him out, gone. See you later, alligator. Interesting times. Let's just run the country, right? No, they want to work against Trump. They want it running the way they want it. All right, CNN, boy, they always seem to step in it, don't they? So I couldn't find what the wording was that CNN used when they were reporting on the airplane crash and the Black Hawk helicopter crash from yesterday out at Reagan Airport. This Kathleen is noting, if you know what's good for you, I would make your worthless commentators stop blaming Trump. So in other words, it sounds like CNN was saying, well, he's taking diversity out, and this is what happens. Interesting what she posted. This was from Washington Times. The FAA turned away qualified air traffic controllers based solely on race. And I thought, well, this is interesting. Where does it go from here? There's a lot of talk about different things, whether it was the controllers or whatever the case may be. Let the NTSB and let the Army and let the government work it out, figure out what it is before you start going anywhere with anything major. However, there was some interesting stuff that pulled up. So I went in and asked Grok, AI in X, I said, did the FAA turn away qualified air traffic controllers during Biden's time in office due to race? Interesting. During President Joe Biden's administration, there have been allegations and legal actions suggesting that the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, may have used race-based criteria in its hiring practices for air traffic controllers. Here's a breakdown. So the legal challenges, there's a class action suit that was filed that the FAA turned away over 1,000 qualified air traffic controller applicants based on their race. I don't know that that's the place that you want to play DEI. You want to play DEI, go out on the beach and use a DEI shovel or something. Don't put somebody in there guiding traffic in the air. I won't read all of this, but there's 4 main topics in here: the FAA's response and policies. The FAA has maintained that hiring highly qualified air traffic controllers remains a top priority, with statements emphasizing that every certified controller undergoes extensive screening and training. However, under Biden's administration, there were initiatives to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion in hiring, which some critics argue might have led to less emphasis on traditional merit-based selection. In other words, can you do the job? Public and political reaction. There's been significant criticism from various quarters suggesting that these policies might have contributed to staffing shortages and safety concerns in air traffic control. Legal and policy shifts. With the return of Donald Trump as president in 2025, there was an executive order to terminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs within the FAA, focusing instead on merit-based hiring. This suggests an acknowledgement at the highest level of government that past practices might have prioritized diversity over merit in some instances. Right? That's what I'm talking about. So here's the left. All they can do is complain. The further up the food chain you get in the Democrat Party, the more you're going to complain. Chuck Schumer, 8 hours ago, he just watched Trump's news conference on the heartbreaking, horrific accident at the DC airport. And I have to tell you, it's one thing for internet pundits to spew conspiracy theories. It's another for President Trump of the United States of America to throw out idle conspiracy theories, right? That his complaint goes on and on. But look at this. Interesting. Conspiracy theories, you say? From Alberto Gutierrez? Oh, Daily Mail. FAA launches recruitment campaign for workers with, I can't even believe I'm reading this, right? Workers with severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and physical issues to hit woke DEI targets. Really? All the time I was growing up, I kept hearing how stressful the air traffic controller job was and what they had to do. It's amazing. And here they are talking about severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and physical issues to hit woke DEI targets. It's one thing to have a guy that has to sit in a wheelchair because he's stuck in a wheelchair for mobility. But psychiatric problems? You're guiding planes around? I don't get it. Oh, look at this. They were talking about understaffing. The head of United Airlines, this was December 3rd, right? This was last month. Head of United Airlines says air traffic controller shortage is a major problem. CEO Scott Kirby says there is an ongoing shortage of controllers, which is leading to delays across the country. Now, I thought Pothole Pete was in charge of that. Wasn't he? So here's Alberto. He's like, you know what? Let's ask liberal-leaning Google AI what it has to say about this. Since everyone is disputing the Daily Mail article, smart guy, go to the liberal machine. The answer, yes, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, recruits people with mental disabilities, including those with psychiatric issues and severe intellectual disabilities. The FAA offers non-competitive appointments to eligible people with disabilities. Now, here comes the eligibility and the recruitment. This is nuts when I read this. To be eligible, a person must have documentation of their disability from a licensed medical professional, a licensed vocational rehabilitation specialist, or a federal, state, or local agency that issues disability benefits. The documentation must confirm that the person has a severe intellectual disability, severe physical disability, or severe psychiatric disability. This is what we're hiring to guide planes around the tarmac and through the air. It really sounds like Pothole Pete's fingerprints are all over this thing. So recruitment. The FAA has recruited and hired people with disabilities, including those with severe intellectual disabilities, including those or psychiatric issues and complete paralysis. If somebody can sit in a wheelchair and they have complete paralysis and they are able to do the job because their thinking cap works and they are able to put things together, 2+2 planes, hey, let's do it. But you don't put somebody in with an intellectual problem or severe psychological problem guiding airplanes. They've also launched campaigns the FAA has also launched campaigns to encourage applications from, wait for it, underrepresented communities, women and minors. We're not focusing on somebody who can do the job. We're focusing on, I don't know what they're focusing on. You're going to put somebody behind the control panel of guiding planes around the tarmac, incoming planes, outgoing planes, problems in the air where they have to shuffle and change things up and flight patterns. And you're going to put somebody in there with psychiatric problems? Not in this life. Oh, look at this. Class action suit. Federal Aviation accountable for Obama era hiring practices. There you go. Oh, Biden goes back from Biden back over to Obama, or shall we say Obama. This is where we're at, folks. This is what Trump has to fix. Bill Gates, he's back. He's back. He's panicking. This is from Eagle Wings on X. The billionaire globalist is now openly calling for AI-powered censorship to silence those who question vaccines. Apparently, there's not enough vaccine uptake. He claims anti-vaxxers, right, in the double quotes, are a threat and must be stopped in real time. But what is he so afraid of? Why does Bill Gates desperately want to shut down free speech? It's a good question. What's he got to hide? If the official narrative is so rock solid, why does he need AI to crush dissent? This isn't about misinformation. You and I both know this is about control. Gates and his elite pals, Spectre, for those of you that are Bond fans, they want to dictate what you can and cannot say because truth threatens their power. That's biblical too. God's truth will always wipe out that of the liar, Satan. So I'm going to let's see, make sure the volume's up high enough here. I'm going to play his little 36-second clip so you can kind of get an idea of the frustration that he's got and him working out ideas.
Have free speech, but if you're inciting violence, if you're causing people not to take vaccines, where are those boundaries that even the U.S. Should, have rules? And then if you have rules, what is it? Is there some AI that encodes those rules because you have billions of activity, and if you catch it a day later, the harm is done.
He sees his power slipping away from his fingertips, him and Spectre, right? World Economic Forum, WHO, UN, and all the other agencies that are locked and loaded within all that. They're having real problems right now because we put Trump in. Federal employees, people are not liking this. Federal employees are vowing to boycott local businesses now that they're required to return to office. Okay, so let's work this one out logically real quickly. If they're not at the office where the local businesses are because they're at home, how is boycotting those businesses when they're back in the office going to be any different than them just working from home? This is how dumb people are right now. It's crazy. So among the executive orders that Trump signed on his first day in office was a short 2-sentence order putting an end to remote work for federal employees and requiring them to return to their offices. He's got some language in there that they can work it out if they've got problems or whatever the case may be. But this is just people saying, we're not going to do it. Well, quit. Get off the payroll. And our buddy, Tom Homan, is delivering. The violent Tren de Agua leader seen in Aurora, Colorado, finally nabbed in a New York City raid, right across from an elementary school. He's a good guy. He's just an immigrant looking to pick strawberries. Come on. This is where the left is coming from. People, we need to wake up. We need to just wake up big time. Okay, perseverance in trials. Verses for the week. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, which we're facing right now, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. True. That's James speaking. Smoking or non-smoking, again, you can pick God or you cannot. It's really a choice, but it's an eternal choice. Second Amendment, 4 words, shall not be infringed. Stand firm on that. To help me sign, just 2 motions, right? Boom, boom. Keep your eye out looking for that. We got a lot going on out there. Kids have disappeared, still disappearing. And the Tower Garden, as you all know, take a shot of that QR code and off you go. And we will see you next week